All right. Okay, we're back. All right, Shop Class Podcast. Welcome back. Tonight, special guest. We got Brittany Farrow. I think I said it right.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to the show. We also got a good round table. We got Mark Willie, the T-Stud Master. We got Rafi Bernstein. He came to visit me recently. We got Nick from upstate, Duke from East Stroudsburg, and Kevin Bass, motorcycle teacher extraordinaire. All right. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
There you go. All right.
Hi,
so,
everybody.
Yeah. So getting it right into it. Brittany is a framer. She's got her own company, and it's pretty impressive what she's done. She's also shares all her knowledge on Instagram and TikTok, and because of that, a lot of people are interested in like learning from her, and it gained a huge following. And then as shop teachers and also as tradespeople, we want to know questions like what Kevin was just asked before we got started was, what would you say? That's actually a good way to start it. We'll get to my questions later. Kevin, you want to ask your question?
Yeah, as shop teachers, unfortunately, our classes are male dominated, mostly guys. And man, when I get like a group of 5 girls in the class, I'm so stoked, and I want to like give them that positive energy that they can succeed, and that this is not a male field. So what would you give, like, if I was going to tell my girls an inspirational quote from you, because you're successful, you're doing this, you're beating dudes out, man, and like, what could I do to help these girls to spread the word and understand this, and we want more of you in the industry, not be all guys.
Yeah, it's hard because like a lot of it is male dominated, but one of my biggest things that I post is careers have no gender. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are, anything. You can do whatever you want as long as you put your mind to it. I was always taught and like brought up that I can be whatever I want to be, and my parents supported me fully going into construction. But don't let guys tell you that you can't do it just because you're a girl. It doesn't matter. My mom's biggest thing that she tells me is, I have balls, they're bigger than yours, I just wear them a little higher.
Did you take shop class in high school then?
I did. I took an interior design. What?
That's it.
You stole the question, Kevin.
No, go ahead, Kevin. Ask the main question. This is it.
I took interior design and home repair, and then I did building careers, which is like a construction-based co-op, and then I went into a dual credit apprenticeship program for another high school credit as well. So it was like 2 full-time co-ops and then 2 classes.
Oh.
But I didn't start until grade 12, so I think I'm doing okay.
Wait, so let me understand. So when you say a co-op, does that mean you left school and then you got bussed over to a job site or something?
Yeah, it's basically that you get high school credits for your job. So instead of getting paid like your wage, you get high school credits.
That's pretty cool. What was the job?
I did framing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Duh. Okay. and that was through a shop class, or that was through like a guidance program?
It's kind of like a guidance program. So in Hamilton, which is where I'm from, they have this one co-op that brings kids from every school in Hamilton, and they like ship you out to different construction. So it's either like electrical, plumbing, drywall, framing, kind of just anything, but you're like shipped out to a company and you're there for the whole semester.
That's cool. That's cool. Kevin, you got stuff like that by you? Is that
It's pretty awesome to hear this, but and we just got this YST program going at my school. It's youth skills training. So my advanced classes, now we actually did interviews today. We Zoom interviewed with the kids with all my local companies that are looking for help. And about half my class just not come to my class anymore and go right to work. So they'll get the credit for my class, but they get paid for it too. And they only do it 3 days a week. So we check in. I'll have them like on a Monday, Friday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they'll go work. And it's pretty cool because it's going to take the stuff I've been teaching the kids, and then they can apply it and see if it's what they really want to do. And, you know, I tell the kids, I want you to learn what you love to do, but I also want you to find out what you hate to do, so you get stuck in it the rest of your life.
That's awesome. Yeah. So now, and you said also you had a shop class as well, or was that just the co-op?
I did a home repair class. So it was electrical, drywall, and framing. And you just did like a little room and then you ran electrical through it. So you did like a light, outlet, and a switch, and then you drywalled it.
Oh, so this is very, very beginning. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. First class ever doing anything like it.
Wow. Now what did you do in the junior year? You said you didn't start all this till senior year?
Yeah, I actually got a concussion in grade 10 and I was out of school from November until the September of the following year because it was like a really bad one. It was awful, but then I only was doing like one class for the first semester, 2 classes for the next one. Like it kind of derailed my whole future. And I found construction doing it was like a DIY show and my parents took me to it and I like found this and I was like, "Oh my God, maybe I want construction."
Huh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was out of the blue.
You saw it on TV, then you went to the job site?
It was like a little convention that they were doing for DIY, and you just go and like you walk through it all, and they had all these signs up for high school co-ops and like trades classes and what you can do in the future. And I was like, this is actually a really good career path.
Pretty cool. And did you have so right after school? Is that what? No, you were 18 at the time. So then what did you do between 18 and then 20 when you started your company?
I've been framing since I was 17. So I started with one company and I was there for 3 years. And then I went to my next one. I was there only for 3 months because he moved to Australia, so I couldn't really stay with him. And then I went to a different company and I didn't love him. He was kind of like a little rude and not really my style. So then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start on my own. And I did it.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Nice. Yeah. Go ahead, Rafi.
So when you started your company, how did you get your first clients? Like, how does one go about that?
So a lot of people tell me either to walk around job sites and literally ask if they need framing crews, but I actually found mine online. So some people like posted job ads saying that they needed framing crews, and I was like, well, why not? I'll try it. And like I was partnering with my dad when I first started because I was the framer first, but we needed him because he was a truck driver. We got him off the road and he did it a little bit when he was a teenager. So we were like, let's do this. You'll be my partner. We'll get another employee. And we literally just found the job online and started like 2 days later.
Very cool.
Wow, no kidding. Let me go back to Kevin for a second. Kevin, do they have framing or building trades at your school?
Yeah, we teach. We have a building construction kind of introduction to the CAD part of it. They do some small scale model. We are putting together a web now, so we have a shop saver router. We got 8 laser engravers. We got a saw stop table saw. We don't have a huge spot for a wood construction, so we're kind of just trying to implement it as a part of the engineering innovation, so they learn it. And if they want to take it full steam with like cabinetry and whatnot, they can go to our crosstown school in Lakeville where they have a bigger shop. We're more the metal shop side, but I feel it's an injustice not to give them that experience and everything. So, we do enough woodworking to get them excited about it. And if they really want to take it to that next level, then they still have the opportunity to go next door to the other school and take that.
Nice. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's a little low. We can hear you though.
I finally got internet in my shop, so I'm out in the shop now. So I'll be able to next time show you stuff.
Oh, turn it in the horizontal. Perfect.
That way.
Oh, it didn't flip. All right. Well, whatever. Oh, there it goes. That's it.
For next time we do another one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll get a shop tour. That'd be cool. Okay. Yeah, I'll show you a little bit.
Not to derail this, but yeah, we could do another one down the road and show all the stuff in my barn here.
Oh, cool. No kidding. That's awesome. Yeah, Kevin's got a whole shop there, and he does like builds that they take to to shows and whatnot.
That's
It's
so
huge.
cool.
Yeah.
Kevin, where are you located?
Prior Lake, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Prior Lake, just south of Minneapolis.
What's the latest project? What's going on, Kev?
This March, there's a Donnie Smith bike show at the Excel Energy Center here in Minneapolis, and so my kids and I are going to help. We're going to put together that bike behind me. It's a 1958 Panhead. So I'm going to get that to school, and we're going to finish working on this one. I got a time to magneto, and I'm going to show the kids how to repack the bearings on the old vintage Star Hub wheels, how to get the Kickstarter dialed in so you can kick this thing on a couple kicks without it breaking your leg. And then this is a 1955 K model race bike that we're doing. So that'll be a little race-inspired dirt bike, kind of. I call it the Fonz because it reminds me of what Fonzie jumped the Shark Tank with.
I never saw that episode. I got to see that one.
Yeah.
Give it the old Fonz. The new kids, they don't know what that is. Brittany doesn't know the Fonz. Come on.
I feel like I've heard of it on like a friend show. You know what I mean?
Just picture anytime if you get frustrated with like a piece of equipment, and then somebody goes, just give it the Fonz, and they smack it with an elbow. That's the Fonz.
I've never seen that, but I'll
Yeah.
help you.
You're hanging out with a bunch of old people. It's all right.
Because I used to be, have you heard of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and they would know it. But then it got to the point where nobody knew Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I was like, oh, did you hear Dazed and Confused? And they knew Dazed and Confused. And now we're getting so old that even Dazed and Confused is like a old retro show. Nobody knows what that is.
All right. Well, do you know who Ron Howard, the director, is? Okay, he was also on Happy Days, right? That was.
I think I've heard
It
of
was
it.
his only acting gig.
I
After
think
that,
we
he
made
went
it perfectly
into.
clear that we are older than Brittany. Loud and clear. She's like, okay, guys,
I'm sorry.
it's noted.
Move on from Happy Days.
Anyway, this is cool. Yeah, Kev, man, that's awesome. That barn looks insane. And is it finally insulated?
Yeah. If you look at the ceiling, it's all spray foam. So it's the whole. It's a 64 by 45 barn. Got it all spray foam now, and the garage door behind me, you can see we just plastic it up for right now. But we got our wood shop area in this corner, and then the bikes behind me back there, and then the new CNC plasma cutter, and it's getting there.
That's cool. Awesome.
Happy anniversary, by the way, Kevin.
I don't know if he heard you.
What's that?
Happy anniversary, Kevin.
Oh yeah. Thanks, man.
So Brittany, do you do any insulation at all, or is it just framing?
Unless it's between units for townhouses, because sometimes we use the rock solid insulation instead of drywall. That's the only time.
No kidding. Okay. Interesting. So now that you got all the old people here to learn from the young people, can you tell us something about TikTok? What is this thing? How did this get started?
It started as a joke. Like, I'm pretty sure my first video is just me and this, what is it? I think it's literally just like a bug or something. We recorded a bug. There's a lot of videos. You're going to take a long time to get down.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos.
I'm trying to post like one a day, and I've had it going for over a year now. So there's a lot of videos. Yeah. It kind of just started as a joke, though, like, because I used to do women in trades talks through, like, the high schools and stuff, but then when COVID hit, I couldn't do it, and I was kind of, like, upset that I wanted to get back and, like, encourage more girls to go into the trades, And I figured, well, even if I just talk like 10 girls into going into the trades, it's better than me just sitting here doing just my work, right? And then it kind of blew up one day. Randomly, overnight, I got 10,000 followers. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll continue this.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah.
That's a lot. 10,000 followers. Jesus.
Have you
Yeah.
ever
Yeah,
watched Metal Shop Masters?
What?
say it again, Kev. Say it louder.
You ever watch Metal Shop Masters on Netflix with the girl welders, Ray Ripple and
Metal Shop
I
Masters.
No, I haven't. Is it good?
yeah, there's some really badass girl welders in it too that kick a lot of butt. So it's fun
Really?
to see.
I'm gonna have to go look it up.
Metal Shop Masters. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I think in general, shop teachers would probably agree with this. I've had a lot of. What's up, Matt? I've had a lot of success with the girls in my class. They, even with the highest level TIG welding, the girls really get into it, and then they take it from there. We had a girl. She prepared a bunch of chairs, which is kind of like a frame, almost like a car. And then it was crazy because she went on to college for engineering, but when she got there, I told her, go find the race team. Like they usually build a race car for engineering, and they call it a Formula SAE or Formula Baja. Anyway, so she finds them, and I said, hey, go tell them you know how to weld. So when she gets there, she's like, hey, listen, I could probably do some welding for you, maybe. And they're like, yeah, whatever. And and they were like, well, prove it. And she proved it, and they immediately kicked off their senior, and they're like, okay, you're welding the frame.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I called it like a walk-on, almost like it's almost like imagine if you were an athlete and you just showed up at practice one day. You didn't get recruited for it. You just showed up and you just started like being on the team. So that worked out really well. And then she, they advanced and she ended up doing like the planning for the car and stuff too. It's pretty cool. But yeah, they don't have enough girls in the classes. Now they do, but like I'm finally at like 50%. But before it was like maybe 2 or 3, like 1 here.
Mm-hmm.
Was that what it was like for you?
Yeah, there was 2 of us in my home repair class, and then there was 3 of us girls, and one ended up quitting like a few weeks into the semester for my co-op. So there was like nobody.
Yeah. And now how about you guys? What's your percentage level in your classes? Nick, do you get any girls in your class?
This year I have in my video class 3, and then woodworking I have 1.
Yeah, that's super low. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I think it happens in the guidance. Believe it or not, the guidance, there's a lot of girls in guidance class or guidance department, and then they don't encourage the girls to do it. They don't know, I mean, they didn't grow up like that. So, and Duke, do you get a lot of girls in the middle school class?
I have every kid in the school.
Oh, okay, perfect.
They just rotate through. No, actually, I have every sixth and 7th grader in the school, so they go through. And a lot of times, the girls do better than the boys in those classes. A lot of times, the girls are more leaders at that point period. They have better handwork at that point.
Well, I would say that. Sorry, Duke. Go ahead.
But 8th grade is an elective for him so far, but it's still mixed. But a lot of times the guidance counselors will be like, just take tech ed.
Kevin, just unmute yourself. There was a little feedback, so I killed it, but just unmute it and you're good. Sorry.
Sorry. How much you can hear me better or worse?
It's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I was wondering, like for Duke, you know, because I know in middle school that it's kind of required for everybody to take shop. How do you think we lose so many girls when they get to the high school?
That's a good question. You know, because a lot of times I don't know if it's like the cool factor or not. Like we had a school-wide activity today, right? So they're in the gym. They're doing like stacking cups. It was like snow related. They played hockey with balloons. They had scooter races, and they said the eighth graders it was sort of like a dud. They just run into it. But they said the seventh graders a little bit more than the sixth graders. They loved it. So I don't know if it's like an age level where they're just really excited just in school in general to start off in sixth grade, then go up to seventh grade and eighth grade, but eighth grade's separate from the high school. And like Ron said, you know, I think it just might be not the cool thing to do right now. And guidance does probably push you in another direction. Or you get a lot of the kids like, I tried taking that class, but you know, it didn't fit my schedule. So I had to take another class.
Yeah. And Kev, again, I just muted it because there was a feedback thing with yours, but you could always unmute it. No problem. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, go ahead. Kevin, you got something?
Is it feedback right now?
It's just when you're talking, it's fine. And when you're not talking, for some reason, there's like a pop or something. I don't know. It's fine.
I'm going to mute my walk back into the house. It should be better in there.
Okay, cool. Okay, no problem. So what I was gonna say? Oh, I always say when the guys come in the room at my class, they always have a shoulder problem. They kind of walk in and they're like, "What's up? What's up?" You know, kind of like it's, you know, their shoulders always moving around. You know, like, and the girls come in and they're like, "Okay, what are we gonna do today?" You know, so it's just attitude. It's just attitude. But you know, I think probably the abilities are probably equal. I just think that if I were to guess, I just think that the girls, they get a chance at it and they're excited and there's no reason why they can't do it. So, you know, they come in and they go for like more, and the guys kind of sit back and the girls go for a little more. So they ended up excelling a lot of the time. That's what I find. I don't know. Shawn's in the house. Let me say hi.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
Yeah.
Shawn's another Canadian.
Sorry that we're late, but hey, I got a fun little story for you. I actually was able to do a Zoom meeting with a grade 3 class where I was able to teach them about building science and about passive houses, and planted a few more seeds with the young ones that are going to be, you know, soon enough, hopefully either incorporating a class like Matthew, where in a few years they'll be building passive houses in their shop class and the construction classes. So it was really great to have an opportunity to get our youth inspired about building science and understanding about water and how, as in our shelters, we need to shed it and keep it outside it, and talk about all the great things about high performance building. So it's my little take on today. Just popped in from our accelerator. We were in New Zealand, so it's great to travel across the world from the seat of my chair. Just check out cool projects. And sorry, Brittany, we were late. Again, I'm sure I'll get the scoop from our IG world, but great to see you meet you. You're doing great stuff. Keep it going, because we need everybody to get into this construction industry and be inspired by using wood in all of its amazing facets. So thank you for inspiring all of us with your hard work. So
Thanks.
That's awesome. Cool. So,
Hey, Shawn, maybe you could get her a roll of tape out there in Ontario. It seems like every time I see Brittany on Instagram, someone's sending you a big box of cool stuff. It's amazing. Like
Yeah.
You're a magnet for cardboard boxes.
I know. I feel like I'm opening a package like every week.
hey, that's
Shawn,
great. You know, we'll get Aaron from 4-7 to see what we can do about getting you some fun stuff.
That'd be amazing. Thank you.
Shawn, what's your Instagram again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. It's Shawn_Staymore, because they didn't like the hyphen. So it's not Saintamore. It's just Shawn_Staymore. I don't know. Maybe I need to upgrade it or fix it or something, but that's what's going on there.
Good.
But yeah, again, great. Again, thanks for letting me pop in. Love what you guys are all doing. Again, you know, being an instructor of all sorts, it's great to inspire your youth and what you guys are up to. So great that you guys have this event and inspiring our youth with all your hard work. So.
All right, I got you. Cool. So yeah, so Shawn's doing, you know, all kinds of passive house stuff, and he's got all kinds of examples, and then he hosts a show with Mark doing BS and beer.
No, it's the 5-day forecast. So yeah,
Oh,
so Mark's got lots of stuff going on, right? So
I can't keep track.
He's got BS Fridays. Now every other Wednesday he hangs out with me and Shannon and Kevin with construction tech version of the Passive House Accelerator Live. Again, you see a little video there of me getting all my tools organized for my teaching this morning. I was pouring concrete as well, so I got another post to talk about pouring concrete. I still have a bit of construction glitter on my face. We were dealing with again a roof leak that I had to cut up drywall. So it's been a fun day, from teaching to pouring concrete to construction glitter. Love what I'm up to. Just never get enough of the fun work that we're all up to. So
nice.
Yeah. So anyhow, thanks for showing that stuff. Again, follow me on IG. Make sure you're following all of the people that are on here, because again, it's about collaboration and connecting and building our community. And you know, again, we can watch regular TV or we can just watch IGTV, because all the stuff that we're all into daily. I'm still behind from all the IBS stuff that Matt was showcasing and the rest of the group from the International Builder Show. Lots of great stuff that we're all doing. And
all right. Yeah. Okay, good. Sorry, Shawn, go ahead, finish.
No, just again, I'm enjoying in the last year of how, you know, unfortunately we've been all in our bubbles, but social media has really expanded our bubbles and get us to all be connected. And you know, the accelerator is able to get me connected to people from Europe and from Australia, New Zealand, and everyone in North America. And I mean, I've actually never met Mark. Mark is like my COVID best friend. We probably talk 2 or 3 times a day. He connects me with a whole bunch of stuff.
You need to get out more. You need to get out more.
Well, you and I both, my friend. So one of these days, our vehicles will cross path at some, you know, amazing diner where we'll share a good meal and actually give a real life hug, not all the virtual thumbs ups and high fives we keep giving each other. So hopefully the same thing is, hopefully I'll be able to see and meet all of you in person one day. But again, great that this platform and what's occurred, that we're able to connect and share our stories, because if we can inspire more people with our passions and what we're doing, and if we can keep sharing and all the great stuff we're doing, because I mean, it's just amazing what all of you are up to, and I'm glad to connect with you. So
cool. You know, it's funny. To be honest, I'm a little overwhelmed. There are so many things to catch up on. What's going on is that, Brittany, it's amazing that you're like got your own business and you're a framer, and then at the same time, all these people are in the build industry, and then also we have the metal workers and the motorcycle guys and stuff like that. And I like the motorcycle stuff too. But it just happens to be you came on a crazy week, because Matt Bloomquist, he is a shop teacher, but they build a house as the shop class. Okay. So they actually like frame out the house like on a site, and then the students go to the site. So it's kind of like a co-op, but you don't have to go to another. It's part of the class. Yeah. And so I got to yeah.
So like you're on one site and it's like a designated house that the class built.
Exactly.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah. Right.
The kids.
And Matt, maybe you can talk about just the pit crew, because.
Yeah, keep going, Shawn.
No, I'm just saying, again, you can talk talk about how quickly kids get off the bus, get on their gear, and get into working. I mean, that alone, to get kids switching over from dropping their backpacks and putting on their tool belts to get going. I think that right there is amazing. So maybe you could talk about that.
Yeah. So so Brittany, I'm a big fan of what you're doing. I have 5 girls here at my own house, so I'm a big fan of the girl power. anyways, yeah, so the kids get bused to me, two sessions, morning session, afternoon session. As soon as they show up, Mark Willie, who's there labeled as Build Small, was on the job site about a month ago. And he was very impressed that in approximately about 4 minutes time, when the kids get off the bus, going into the mobile classroom, throwing on their tool belts, throwing on some boots or Carhartts or whatever for the colder weather, and then, you know, standing in the garage or by the house or wherever, ready to figure out what they want to do. The afternoon class, the morning class is probably 6 minutes. The afternoon class probably does it in 4 minutes. The morning class, especially on a Monday, got to wind them up a little bit more. So, but yeah, I'm always trying to refine the system and drilling into them more of a, yes, it's a class. I mean, it is class, it is school, but we treat it very much at the job site that it is and what's going to be expected. And, you know, I kind of have to ride their ass a little bit about, you know, when the hands are in the pockets, or if there's time to lean, there's time to clean, you know, kind of things like that happen on the job site too, just like in the real world. So I keep it very real world, but we obviously slow the pace down. And then something my friend Shawn and Mark are really big into there. We don't have Passive House under our belt yet, but thanks to IBS and Shawn and Mark's networking and introducing me to people and all this other great stuff, I would say previously I would have said in the next 5 years we'd have a Passive House under our belt. I'm gonna cut that in half. I think we got some people in the right position. We put an emphasis on high performance building and adding building science, and yeah. And then also, do you work with is SOS Chippy or whatever? What's his name?
Oh, he's back framing one of my houses that I'm doing, but he was on the same site as me, like on Saturday, and someone bailed on me, and then like I was by myself, but I had like my guys that I'm subbing to. And he felt bad because I was doing like the one side of the porch that's mine by myself. So he came and helped me and like brought his like worker, and he was just like, "Hey, you want some help?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, kind of, but
dude, that
he's
guy
so
is
nice
awesome.
though."
He is so awesome. I know he's an Australian transfer to Canada, but yeah, I saw that on your post. I was like, oh my God, I got connected through him. Kind of thanks to Mark with jumping on there with well, the Three Stooges there up in Canada. You got Aaron and Broski or Marcus and Chris and those guys and stuff. And he was on there a couple times. We got connected on Instagram, and yeah, he's a hoot, man. I saw you posted that. So when you guys say back framing, is that blocking like blocking for cabinets and things like that? Is that what you guys call back framing?
Yeah, it's like so if there's any HVAC pipes or plumbing that you have to box out the wall, or just anything that it's like added after all the stuff's in. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I always hear the Canadian people say back framing, and I've been trying to put the puzzle together to figure that out, and because I never had a chance to ask any one of you. And
hey Ron, have you heard of that? Have you heard of back framing?
No idea.
Yeah, dive deeper on that, Brittany, and explain the difference of your regular rough framing crew on a new construction site, because it's a term that not everyone knows. So this is the part that's fun, because it's a language in and of itself.
Yeah, exactly. So basically what I do, so I'm like the framing crew. So I'm the main framing crew. I do all the walls, the floor, backing for the drywall, so that you need like a corner for the drywallers to nail to, hangers, kind of like anything like that. Basically the main structure of the house is what I build, but anything that's done afterwards, so after all the HVAC, the electrical, the plumbers, anything has to go in, or if you need stuff for cabinetry, anything, they have a separate framer come in that exclusively does that, and just comes and like finishes off, tweaks it a little bit, builds little boxes. It's super easy that way.
Wait, so let me understand. Back framing is like the second thing you do. The first thing would be what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the word back is in it, that's not backbone. That's just backing of like something that you're going to put on the face of it.
Yeah, it's basically like going back and finishing kind of thing.
All right. So what would you put on a back frame, like a wall, a non-structural wall type of thing, right?
Yeah, so it can be, we do most of the interior walls still, but it could be like if a porch has to get dropped, if a garage has to get dropped, if we have to box pipes, if I'm trying to think what else there is. It could be if you have like a conference ceiling or a cathedral ceiling, you got to like frame that in. That could be the back framer's job. But they are making a lot of that more our jobs now. So they're taking more and more away from the back framers and making us do it.
Sorry, is this it right here?
Could be.
Yeah, so because they framed in the skylight there, anything that's going to like make the shape of the skylight is the back framer's job.
Got it.
That like blows my mind. Like I've heard you guys talk about this because for us, it's, well, hell, for us, you may frame that, you frame the house, you do the blocking, you do the roofing, you do the siding, you do the windows, you do the doors. Like the idea of, I mean, you know, we have our specialty trades like electricians and plumbers, HVAC, things like that. But to break down framing or actually any other parts of the house, I mean, roofing and siding just maybe in the last 10 years became kind of popular around here to even sub out. And really, I think for roofing is just because everyone started getting older now and they don't want to deal with it. It's like, so the fact that you guys even break down framing, it just is like mind blowing. But it also, you're in an area where housing is going up. I mean, I'm like one of my kids' houses that we're building right now is like maybe one other new construction in the whole town. So, you know, like sometimes we're doing our own electrical and plumbing because you can't wait any longer for anybody.
There's job sites everywhere right now, and everyone has like 500 houses going in at once. We're back and like short of framers right now, so every company is waiting almost 3 months for someone to start a house because like we're that short on framers. There's so much production going on right now.
Wow.
Brittany, don't you also do SIP panels?
Yeah, I actually just started that. It's my first time doing panels. We started on Monday. We did the whole floor today, so it's a block of 7 for townhouses, and we did all the floors today. So tomorrow is a rain day, but Friday will be all the walls. Yeah.
That is hopping. That is. Do you have any posts from today on IG on that?
I haven't posted them yet, but I took videos. I literally got home at 7:30 and then hopped on here.
I appreciate that. I'm sure that's like not easy to do, jump around like that.
It's okay. I'm kind of used to it right now. It seems to be the only thing I do.
Yeah.
How far do you have to travel to your project since everything's so hot well, you're in Greater Toronto, right?
I'm in Hamilton, actually, but I don't like working in Hamilton, so I try to go to either Brantford or Niagara or Woodstock. I'm usually like Brantford, Woodstock way. Right now, well, this morning it took me 2 hours to get to the site because I had to spend an hour picking everybody up and then an hour to go to the site. So I left my house at 5. That was fun, but normally it's like an hour to get to the site.
Wow.
Hey, Brittany, how often do you get to Niagara on the Lake and you have to stop for fudge?
Oh, like at the little fudge factory, right?
Oh, that's a great spot in the world, I tell you.
I
For those
love
of you,
it.
Niagara Falls is great, but Niagara on the Lake, just half an hour north as you're going up the river there. Whew, great spot in the world.
It is, but I don't go there that often.
And then Tim Hortons, right?
Well, so the original Tim Hortons is in Hamilton, folks, and I actually stayed at an Airbnb across the way, and I thought that was pretty cool. But hey, Brittany, I mean, Hamilton is a hot spot for passive houses. Are you seeing anything coming your way in the passive house world, or are you just still working on a lot of code stuff?
I'm more working on a lot of code stuff. I'm hoping that I can stay in panels for a little bit because it's literally just prefab houses, and I think it's a little bit easier, especially with my crew being really, really green. But we're mostly just like production, doing codes, nothing really too fancy.
Shawn and Mark and a lot of people, they're getting into this passive house thing. So then the messing around with the T-stud and all the thermal brakes. which is my favorite term. I didn't know anything about this stuff. I was like, wow, that's cool. You know, but it's true. Like if you were building cars, someone's like, hey, you can build this electric car. I'd be like, yeah, we'll get to it. It's difficult to switch gears. I totally get it. But it's a thing. It's coming. So I'm sure you'll be seeing some of that. We had a question from Peter in the comments. If you know Kate Builds.
I've talked to her online. I'm reading the thing now. She actually set me up with someone from DeWalt when my trailer got robbed. And
no
they
way.
got me a bunch of stuff from DeWalt. And like she literally messaged me, sent her my contact, and she's so nice.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I saw that TikTok and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's terrible. You left your trailer out there with all the tools and someone just went on it. That's crazy.
I left it on site for a year, and then like just out of the blue after a year it decided that someone wanted to rob it. But like they think it was because of TikTok and everything, because a lot of people found out where I was working, and because you show what's in your trailer. Yeah.
You know, you got to hook up with Brant Taylor from the Tool Hacker. He has, oh my God, his trailer is like, okay, another bad reference, Knight Rider. I'm thinking Knight Rider. Oh my God. Okay, forget it. Okay, moving into the present day. Anyway, he's got security cameras all over that thing, and he broadcasts all his podcasts are straight out of there, but also all his tools. And then he's got this wild thing. It's a construction hat, but it's got camera, and he could see what's going on with what they're doing and what they're working on. And he's got this. Anyway, long story short, it's hooked up, and I'm sure you could get a security camera advice from Brant Taylor.
Yeah, I definitely need to. They caught it all on video, like the person robbing my trailer and everything, so they got caught. But because the day after it happened was a rain day, we didn't notice till the next day. So all the tools were already sold, so we didn't get anything back.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So this is crazy. Speaking of security and kind of modern day stuff. So Brant's got this thing called the Brain Bucket, and it's for people to run their crew, so you can see what's going on. I don't know. I don't represent it very well, but this is Brant. He's out of his mind. It's great. But so you can run the crew and you can see what they're doing, and you'll see what, like, if they pass a door, how many times they use a certain tool. You can like run statistics on your crew, and also it's got like a cooling fan. It's kind of a work in progress.
I think I need that because it's so hard to keep your eye on every single worker.
Oh, no. Perfect. This is it. I thought you were going to be like, yeah, I don't know. You're like, it's perfect.
No, I have too many workers. I can't keep my eyes on all of them.
So the other thing about it, Brittany, is if you're not on the job site, right, and they have a question, they can actually stand there and say, I'm looking at the joist, right? What do I do? And now you can actually see what they say or what they're trying to tell you, because they're terrible communicators. They're like, it's not working. It's just not working, right? So it's a good, you know what? We'll connect you to Brant, and maybe you'll get a cardboard box in the mail, and you could have another unboxing. And you could blame it all on Matt Bloomquist, because he's responsible for everything good.
That'd be awesome, because like you're on the phone with them and you're like, oh my God, just FaceTime me. I don't even know where you are right now.
This is the solution. And it's kind of like, you're like, all right, yeah, listen. And you got the thing, and you could talk and your hands free, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a fighter pilot. Isn't that crazy?
You mentioned when you got robbed, DeWalt hooked you up a little bit. I don't know how well they hooked you up, but if you go back to Kate's page, you guys will love. She beats the living tar out of a laptop, and it survives. There it is in the. Yep,
Middle?
It's hilarious. I don't know which one. They're all kind of the same.
Okay.
But it's an indestructible case, right?
Oh,
For Dell.
Nice. No kidding. Oh, look, someone made a case, right?
Right. So maybe the next one is she just goes to town. Here it goes. You got to hear the audio.
Oh my God. Okay.
It's like Fonzie, Ron. Just hit the screen.
This is like anger management. This is how you deal with your stress. Just let it rip.
Oh my, that's a sledgehammer. That's crazy. That's probably polycarbonate or something. That's wild.
It's polysorbate 80, Johnny.
That's
Look at this.
awesome. What the?
Stop
Stop it.
If we could see Nick's face right now, he's like, I could break that box. That box ain't got nothing.
What kind of steel is it that she could barely get into that?
Oh no, she's getting in. She got in. Oh, I get it. That was the box they sent it in. Just to kind of, That's cool. Oh, here it is. Oh yeah, that's a serious case. Oh my God. That's funny. I just throw the laptops anywhere in the shop, and if they break, Well, luckily at the school, it broke. Sorry.
Ron, this is being recorded, by the way.
Oh, what? Oh, government money. It's experimentation. We're not, Anyway,
Both for
all
sake
right.
of learning.
Yes, of course. All right. So let's get to the next question for Brittany about her company, and kind of like, how did you build the company? Give us kind of like how you got to where you are now, like some of your trials and tribulations. You said it was a funny story. Let's hear something about that.
Well, it's definitely been a struggle with employees because finding them, because in Canada for COVID, you were paid to stay home. So everyone was just taking that. So nobody was working. So I've had the past year, I probably had 30 different people, and most of them only lasted a week.
Wow.
But it's because everyone doesn't like framing, but it's because they're not giving it a full chance. And I'm honest about it. It can suck, but it's a great time if you get used to it. It's just going to be hard on your body for the first few days. You're going to sleep a lot. It's going to take a lot of energy. But I started and we kind of what?
I'm guessing you don't have to go to the gym after a day of framing.
Oh, definitely not. Or even if you're feeling like you need to work out more, you just start doing squats with some of the lumber, or just doing little curl ups.
There you go.
Yeah, it's great. But it's kind of been interesting because a lot of people don't think that I should be running the crew, or they'll literally walk right past me and go talk to my workers and be like, oh, hey, boss. And I'm like, nope, that's over here. Hi, thanks. But I also have some people that are older than me too. So it's been a struggle, kind of I'm younger and they don't really want to listen to me because I'm only 23, right? So I'm still super young. It's harder. But
that's wild. That's not easy.
No.
I give you credit. At 23, I was like a complete idiot. I was bartending and I was in the wrong career. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, it's hard because a lot of my friends and stuff are still in part-time jobs, and I'm working full-time. I work 6-7 days a week. Even today, I got up at 4:30. I didn't get home till 7:15. That's a full day, and it's not unusual at all. Half the time I'm posting that I'm framing in the dark, but it's okay.
Yeah, we saw that. That's crazy.
Yeah, but if you want a good life, you got to work hard now so that you can enjoy it when you're older. That's what I was taught. But it's kind of weird seeing some of the guys on site because they'll tell me that I'm just a daughter of someone. I'm a girlfriend of someone just there for the day, and I'm no, I'm running this crew, but it's okay, thanks. Because I don't like confrontation, so it's harder too. But yeah,
I don't blame you. I saw that one TikTok where the guy says, "Hey, can I borrow this tool or whatever?" And I probably should ask the boss. And you're like, mm-hmm. And then he goes ask one of your employees, and they're like, yeah, go ask the boss. She's right there.
It happens so much, but with like all the social media, a lot of people recognize me now from it. So I'm having less problems with it because they know me already, which is sad to say that I have to be like on social media for you not to think I'm the boss. Yeah.
So I got a question because I have a small business on the side as well, and I kind of hire former students, which makes it so easy because we already know each other. But then if I ever hire someone who's not a former student, there's a bit of it's hard kind of being like a employer. That's very difficult. So you got any tips? Like what like how do you handle these things? How did you know to fire some of the people, or did they quit? Like, give us a story.
I'm still learning because like I'm not like that really dominant person. I'm just kind of like I like to have a good time, but like let's work. So it's taking me a little bit to actually be like, no, listen to me, like this is how it's gonna be. But I actually had like one time this person started, it was their first day working for me. And like we had to work late because I had to finish this bell roof before we could leave because we were like starting another job the next day or something. And 5 o'clock hits and they decide that they're done. So they open my tailgate to my truck, lay down and call their friend and are talking on the phone while I'm still in the dark on a bell roof trying to finish it. And I'm like, yeah, you're not staying here. And then like another time this person came back late from lunch and then decided that they were just going to sit down and like eat their lunch. And I'm like, lunch was over half an hour ago and you're late. And they're like, oh, well, like, and I'm like, I don't care. If I see you sitting down, I'm going to send you home. And they started like walking down the stairs and I'm like, where are you going? And they're like, I'm going home. I was like, okay, don't come back. Like, you can't, that's not how it works. Like, I'm telling you what time lunch is. I'm telling you this, like, you have to work. But it's definitely been like a struggle with not like power, but like, I don't know. Like, it's like, they don't like to listen to me.
Yeah, it's tough to be a leader, but at the same time, you got to put the carrot and the stick kind of in a way, but you want to lead by example. It's a difficult thing.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
And I'm like, I work so hard that I'm like, and I offer my people like a lot. I like to give, I like to do stuff. I like to, like the one girl, I ended up giving her a nail gun when we got so many from when my trailer got robbed. We gave her a brand new nail gun because I was like, you've helped me a lot. You've been there. You've been here for a while. For when you start your crew in the future, here's a nail gun. Take it home. Don't bring it here. But like, I like to do stuff because I'm like, it's better to give stuff to your employees because then you know that like you respect them, you appreciate what they're doing for you, but then they kind of just kick me in the butt and they're like, oh, well, I'm just going to keep taking advantage of this. And I'm like, yay.
It's good sometimes when you get some good ones and then you can kind of grow together. And has that happened?
Not yet. I've had like 2 people last more than 3 months.
Oh my God. All right. Wow.
I haven't found mine because like I keep finding people that'll help me on weekends and like they're absolutely amazing, but they've already had a job and been there for so long they don't want to leave. And I'm like, I'm not that person to like steal someone. So I'm just like, yeah, I'll use your help on the weekends. You can make some extra cash. I get the hand. It's okay. Like at one point I was working by myself Monday to Friday and then I had like 5 people on the weekend.
Wow. No kidding. That's not easy.
And then on the other hand, you use it to your advantage because you're prepared, right? And that extra hand allows you that segue. Because I got to say, your attitude is exemplary. You take away the age, you take away the sex card, everything else. You have an upbeat attitude. So the right people will want to work with you. As much as you find it hard for finding the right people, it's hard for people to find the right people to work with. So that attitude, that's your golden nugget.
Yeah, everyone tells me that it takes forever to find the right people. They're like, you're going to go through a billion bad apples before you find that good one. And I'm like, okay, I'm just holding on to that. But I think I have a few leads of like some people that I have now. I think they're going to last and like do really good because I'm training them. They seem to be wanting to get there and like wanting to go so far in the framing industry. But you won't know until like it takes a long time to know for sure that they're staying for, a good amount of time.
Gotcha. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Now, okay, so I am like super naive when it comes to, the housing industry and building. So, when do you get called into a job? They already poured the site, like the concrete floor or whatever, or the foundation, and then, but you come in and then you have to like make this thing fast, and then because someone else is coming in to do the sheetrock or whatever, so you're in between. Am I right? That's like a pressure zone.
Yeah, like we have a little bit of leeway because they usually do the production houses a few months before they close. So you can do it like I could build a house now and it won't close until like the following summer. But they try to keep ahead just in case something happens or something gets pushed back, delays, rain days, anything like that. But I go after the concrete's poured. I frame anything from basically once the concrete started all the way up to sheeting the roof. And then the next people take over. So it's bricking, windows, the shingler. Yeah.
No kidding. Wow. And then from there, once, like, how do you know you're done? Is it that you've put up all the sticks and then you did the roof or whatever, and then somebody comes in and checks it out, or like how does it end?
Yeah, so basically like if I go through a contractor or even the builder sometimes does it, they'll go through your list and like go through your house, make sure everything's level, everything's up to code, everything's put in that I needed to do. And then they'll give me a list if there's anything missing. I'll go back and do it. And then the final list is if once the home inspection is done. So they'll do a framing inspection, and it's just kind of like if someone from HVAC or like plumbing or anything cut something, that's usually when I have to go back after that, but it's not usually anything that's missing before that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And then how do you like know, okay, forgive me, this is like super naive. How do you know what to build? Like, do they just hand you the plans and then you're like, all right, that's it, we're building this? Or do you have to interpret something? Like, what's going on next?
It's kind of half and half. A lot of the plans, they try to give you everything. Like the contractor goes through it and literally like pencils on it, highlighter, everything, because they don't want you to mess up. But there are some stuff that doesn't work out based on the plan. So you have to you usually have to run it by the contractor so at least they know what you're doing. But you have to figure out a way to make it sort of look like the plan, but actually work out and look nice. But it's usually just taking the plan and making it into a 3D model.
Wow. No kidding. So
Yep.
sometimes they give you something and you're like, that's not going to work. And you're like, all right, I'll come up with a solution. Let me see if they like it. How do you get in touch with them? Is it you're calling like an architect at an office or something? Or you call like a
so
builder?
they have contractors on site or like that you can literally just like you have their number because they give you the job and you just call them and you're like, hey, this doesn't work out. They either give you like a rundown of what you can do or you give them like the options and then you're on the phone, or they come if it's like a really big problem, they'll come to the site and you'll like go through it all, figure it out, try a few things out, see what goes.
And the whole time the clock is ticking because they want you out of there so they can do their next step.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. That's amazing. So now, okay. Now, is it better to have more people move slowly, like you said, a green crew, or is it better to have like just a few people knock it out?
Definitely just a few people knock it out, but the problem is you have to have the people trained before you can have that.
Yeah.
So with the green people, like it's taking longer, especially for me because my mom tells me I have a temp agency because I never keep anyone long enough. Not necessarily because of me, but like some people don't like framing, right? But you have to go slower because you have to teach them, but you can't just like throw them into something because they'll never know. So right now we're kind of like it's taking a little bit to do a house because you're always learning, you're always teaching someone, and it's not the best, but once you find that right people that you can teach and like move and keep going up, you'll move faster and it'll be better just to have the few people.
Nice. And do you have like
Hey, Ron, can I ask one quick
like
question?
a farm? Oh, please go ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Go
So
ahead.
Brittany, when you
just did, Matt.
No.
That's good.
Okay, I'm gonna do 2. So with these green people, the new people, I mean, are they how green? Like for me, I have
Can't
students
even read a
who,
tape
we're
measure.
almost teaching.
Oh,
read the
she
tape
said
measure.
can't read a tape measure. Sounds like my shop class.
So you're okay. You're kind of dealing with. All right. So you're not like trying to get some people with a little bit of experience up to like production framing level. You're trying to get them to the basics
From the get-go. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, Brittany, is
Okay,
that
I
inches
feel
or
that
millimeters or meters?
We're in inches and feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because if it's meters, then it's like really, really super green. I grew up in Israel, so I grew up with meters and millimeters, so it's so much simpler. And I moved here for college and got stuck here. And at first, I tried to rebel. I was like, screw that. I started out as a graphic designer. I was like, I'm gonna stay in millimeters, and it's so much easier, more sense, it's easier to divide. And I just couldn't fight the system. And now in woodworking, it's like lost cause.
Yeah.
Matt, you have videos of showing the kids framing. So Matt has like 12 kids in the first class and like 14 or more in the second class. Are those videos something that you can share and literally like or collaborate on an IG video with Brittany of just these regular steps like this is my belt, this is my tape, this is what 16 is. It's 4 after 12, right? And this is my gun. I'm not trying to be funny, but
Yeah.
Is that something like a video? Because we see a problem here, and what do all of us do? We create solutions, right? So simple collaboration videos, then the people could see this, and now the first time they send you a DM and say, I'm not in Hamilton either. I hate Hamilton, but I figured out the tape measure, and I just picked up a belt and a spade square, right? Can I meet you? That's already a starting point compared to your greenies. Maybe that's a little method.
That's a good idea because a lot of people can't read tape measures because most people don't go onto job sites with their dad or whatever that they used to do. And like, I'm getting people that like a lot of the guys do not want to get dirty anymore. So they don't know anything when I take them. And I take a lot of co-op students from the co-op program that I went through. I signed up to take some of them. So I'm teaching them literally like first day on the job site, never used a tool, never used a tape. And I'm like, it's hard.
Your workers have not had shop class.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's one thing I was gonna say. Like, I see it too because the old school I taught at, the middle school was connected to the high school. So there would be high school kids that would change their clothes to take shop class because they didn't want to get sawdust on it. And then I got sixth graders like covered in sawdust. It's like a badge of honor. Their books are covered in it. Their book bags are covered in it. Like, they're not happy if their whole front of them is filled with sawdust because they're going to their next class and was like, yeah, I was working in the wood shop.
Duke, that's awesome. You're talking about. We literally so we had a bunch of snow. Canada crew can relate to this. We had a bunch of snow, ice, got warm, it melted. It is a freaking mud pit at our job site. So, I got the muck boots on, whatever. I'm running around there. I don't care. I have to go back and teach one class at the school. I walk in, torn up Carhartt, stocking cap, hair disheveled. I look a mess. Everybody knows where I've been. It's great. I love it. I have kids in the first session, boys, will not wear a stocking cap when it is 20 degrees outside because their hair is going to be messed up the rest of the day. I'm like, guys, you got a lot more to fix than your hair before the girls are going to be interested in you. Trust me. It's ridiculous. And like the getting dirty, like now this year's class has been pretty good. And Mark was there. We have a lockbox that they throw all their overalls or shoes and boots and stuff in. so that they'll switch out and stuff. So some kids have, like, I keep telling them, bring boots, because when your shoes get wet, it doesn't matter if they're muddy. As soon as you're wet, you're screwed because your socks are wet. Like, but some kids, and I have one kid who just cannot stay warm. He doesn't have a lot. It just, there's no meat to him. He can't stay warm. And so yesterday was a kind of a chilly day, and he's freezing all day. Today it got up to 40. He comes rolling in shorts. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's, I don't know. I got some kids, yeah, they're all nervous about getting muddy and dirty. And I'm like, guys, it's shop class. They're like, yeah, well, I'll be muddy all day or dirty all day. I go, then they'll all know you're in building trades. I was like, what the hell do you think's going on out here, man? Like, it's a goofy thing. And it's the boys and the girls I usually don't have problems with. Like, I have to go teach an intro industry class, and we've been in the wood shop. And one of the girls, God, I really hope she takes my class, because she is, she just calls the boys out. You'll have to talk to her, Brittany. She can help you with being the muscle. She'll do the firing for you.
I definitely need the muscle.
Can Brittany recruit right out of Taylorville? Can they go up to?
I tell my kids, if they don't want to stay local, I go, they can go wherever. I know some people that know some people. Like, we're all 2 degrees away from knowing Mark Willie. So he's our Kevin Bacon.
Beautiful thing. How far are you from some of the George Brown College campuses, Brittany?
Probably an hour and a half, because it's like Toronto, right?
Well, they have a few campuses, and Matt and Duke and Nick and Ron, they all know this guy. You may have seen him. What's his handle, Matt?
See, I'm Build, Learn, Teach. Is he Design, Teach, Learn? Shoot, I'll look up.
Design, Teach, Educate, or something. His name's Connor Malloy, and he teaches the building trades program in Ontario.
There it is. You just passed it, Ron.
I don't think it's public, but they just got funding again for more framing. There is Design, Build, Educate. He's a tremendous guy, and that would be a good connection because of the fact of who.
Oh, Kevin, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for joining.
I missed that. What?
Sorry, guys, I got to get. But good podcast, Brittany. Nice to meet you, and guys, good to see you. Talk to you all next week, and I'll find you on Instagram, add you, and we can share stories and help inspire these girls, keep them going.
Yes, definitely.
Right,
bye.
Thanks, Kev.
See you, Kev. Thanks.
All right.
Sorry. Short. We'll introduce you to Connor. He's got a great program. He's very, very well connected. One of the smoothest speakers I've ever met. He knows his stuff. They design all their programs like a digital twin. And then Peter, you're in Ontario, aren't you? Yeah, Peter's been doing everything under the sun. So whatever the network can do to introduce you to the people that they know. How did a lot of us get into the positions we're in? It's because we met someone and they say, well, I know someone looking for someone, right? And that leads to these possibilities. So let's keep that conversation really robustly front.
Yeah, I tell everyone that starts with me the biggest thing in the construction industry is contacts. Like, you don't want to burn any bridges. You want to make as many friends as possible, talk to as many tradespeople as possible. Doesn't matter even if they're in the same trade as you. They might know someone. You might need their help for something. They might know of a job opportunity. Just talk to everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Brittany, you got connected to the right man, all right? So Mark Willie, have you ever heard of, I know you're younger, but have you ever heard of the actor Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
Footloose. All right. The 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Everybody in Hollywood's tied to Kevin Bacon. Everybody in the building industry. We at IBS, we narrowed it down. We think it's only 3. It may be 2. Everybody, it's instead of 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, it's the 3 degrees of Mark Willie. So you're in a good company here.
That's amazing.
I wish Shawn was on here when I told that. He would love that. But it's very
So
true.
funny.
Like there's a lot of us who are all very much connected
Actually,
thanks to Mark. And there's other players in this too and stuff. of
Actually,
course,
I think Mark connecting me with Mike Kanoki, right? And then that got me, because I was listening to Kanoki's podcast, that got me connected to Brittany. So you are connected through Mark.
dude, yeah, everybody is.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Now I have to give credit to Steve Basic for me and Mark getting connected, which we know Steve too. But after that, then it went. Half the people I was meeting down in IBS was people that probably collaborated with Mark and stuff. So it was awesome.
I tell you what, Brittany, one time when Steven's on the show, we got to get you on because he's such a riot. The guy's dedicated to the industry like none other. He's just a handful and a half. And this is a nice setting where people openly share and we openly say, this is what we need. And the fact that the first part is the fact that you said, I need more people. My mom, what did she say? Your mom said you run a temp agency. I mean, sometimes when we need people and we're running crews, what's the first thing we do is we're quiet about it because we don't want to scare off new jobs, but you can't be quiet about it, right? Because you're creating opportunities and that's inspirational. It really is inspirational.
Thank you. I try to take on like as many people that want to learn as I can, but it's also hard that if you have too many people that don't know anything, you get nothing done at all. But
I have 12 to 15 of those on the job site all at the same time, Brittany. I feel you.
So you understand.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So the best days are when when the kids come back, or if we have like a holiday, like a Monday holiday for whatever, like say President's Day for us is coming up. They'll volunteer and come work for a couple hours. I'll have like 3 to 4 kids on the job site. We'll do twice as much as we do in a whole day when I have the whole dozen on the, 2 dozen on the job site. So, because it's the ones that really want to do something, get involved and stuff. So, but yeah, having more people that don't know what's going on job site, it gets hectic. It gets, your brains are running, your legs are running. It's exhausting.
Oh yeah, I know. Some of the best times is literally when you're just by yourself and you can like think and just get stuff done and not have to like watch over anybody, or it's relaxing. See, now nice thing for me is I can bring in people like Mark Willie and Bob Kelly and friends like Dan Edelman. We got Jake Bruton and them coming too. So when I have those guys, it's great. It's like back in the day when your teacher would pop in a movie for the day. That's how it is for me. I just sit back, watch, let them do. I take pictures, and I become an Instagram teacher then. So we get the luxury of bringing on people to help lighten the load and stuff. So I know in the professional world you don't really get to do that, but in the teaching world we get to do that, which is fun.
Cool. Yeah. So
oh, hey Ron, I think Peter's trying to talk. I think he's muted.
Peter, go ahead. I didn't mute him. He can do it. Are you there? I think he's muted on his own. It must be his mic or something, because he's not mute. Oh, now he's muted on the podcast. Now he's not. He's back.
Huh.
Still don't hear him.
Oh, you know what, Peter? Do you still have the Zoom open for the accelerator? That might be blocking your mic. That's a weird thing. If you had a Zoom before at Google, your audio doesn't work.
Here we go.
He's fixing it. Brittany, when you frame, do you guys do staircases, or because of all the production out there, do staircases come prefab?
Staircases come prefab, but we build landings.
Okay, you do the landings. All right.
Yeah.
And you don't do switchback landings. You do full square, right?
Yeah. We only do square. Like sometimes you'll have like one here, or like one on top of the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just basics.
Well, it's not basic. It's hard. That's a real deal. Awesome.
What's a switchback?
Well, a switchback is a winder, right? So it's at a diagonal. I think Nick would probably say most firemen think they should be banned, but anyone carrying a mattress, a child, or a teddy bear would want them banned because you don't have the same depth, right? They want the tread and the riser to be set, and so the riser would be the same. Well, it should be the same, but if the tread's not the same depth, your head doesn't look at your feet, right? And you fall.
Yeah.
And that's how you get a crooked nose.
Oh man. So all right. And now also one other thing we didn't catch up about was that Matt went down to the International Build Show this last week. And maybe Matt, you want to give us like an update of what that was like? And also, thank you so much. Matt repped our new, this is not it, but he had the new shirts for the Shop Class podcast, which was so cool.
Yeah, I got it. Well, actually, my wife just left the room. We got to give her Carmen the credit for whipping out some t-shirts really quick. Yeah, I'll keep it short because we could do a whole freaking episode on how last week went, and we want to keep it on Brittany because she's killing it right now. So, but yeah, it was awesome, man. A lot of you guys know Sashco paid for me to go down and talk, and it was pretty much talk about what we do, about how to get more shop classes and trade programs into schools. Frank Cacavel was down there, Mike DeGuidis, both who we all, we know and had it on the show. They were there. They were part of my presentation. They were at it. It was with Matt Reisinger was helping host. This video right here, so that was the Sashco thing, which was awesome about that. I was actually, we did breakfast with Charlotte, the marketing director, Nathan, the technical director. So he's more in the chemistry and science side of their products. And then Les, the owner of the company.
Steve Basic.
So there's Steve. So now what you're looking at, this is Huber that does our Advantech subfloor. They do the zip sheeting. So if you guys see the green walls and black in tape, that's Huber. Great company. I've been using their products for a long, long time. Same with Sashco, well before teaching and any of this stuff came about. But I was honored. They
right here.
Yeah. So I had Carmen do a live stream. This is me getting they do a fun. If you guys watch The Office, it's kind of like the Dundies Award, right? The awards they give out, they have some fun ones, but they also have some serious ones. I got one of the I got a serious one. I got the Community Builder Award for 2022. So it's a big deal. You have Matt Reisinger there. So anybody that watches Matt Reisinger, the Build Show Network.
Okay, Matt's downplaying this. Come on, this is a big deal.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, and big thanks to Matt and those guys. We're already doing some stuff with the Build Show as it is. Thanks to Jake Bruton and Steve Basic, who are also contributors through the Build Show. I've known Matt for a while now. This is the first time I've done public appearances, I guess, with him. This one, he's presenting the award to me. And yeah, it was awesome. And it was kind of crazy. I went down there knowing I was going to meet some people, Andrew Seeley, things that Mark knows, Andrew, Dave Cooper, these guys I'm going down to meet that I've connected with on Instagram or done shows with or whatever online. But I did not expect, people kept asking me if I have a card. I'm like, no, I'm a teacher. I don't carry cards. So my wife was like, Matt, just give me your phone. Because I don't, however many times this happened, she's like, give me your phone. Let me do something real quick. So she made a card on my phone real quick. So people would just, I could just go here, snap my picture. It had the Instagram, it had the email, it had the telephone number. Because the best part was people are coming to talk to me about was not that they're fans of me on Instagram or anything. They're fans of what our program is doing at the school. And they wanted to give my information to their shop teacher or their district or their schools. And I'm like, yes, let them know. And then I'd explain what the Shop Class podcast meant, because you can see me wearing the t-shirt in the show. And so I'll get you the list, Ron. We got some 4 big players that want to come on the show, just like Brittany, with big followings and doing awesome things. And they invited me to be on their podcast and stuff. And it's been crazy. I just, the Hammer app. Breck from Hammer just got off a conversation with him. He's wanting to do some cool things. And what was awesome was it's not really from what I could do for them, but it was if the tap into the network of people that like you guys and the education side. So it's really cool, to get to talk to all these people and people want to talk to me, but for the right reason, they want to talk to me. It's not because, I saw you on Instagram or something, which I mean, my following isn't anything crazy as far as numbers, but it was good for people trying to reach out to me for the purpose of connecting with me, to get connected in the network of you guys and the other teachers and all this stuff. So, the goal to go down there, one of those goals being down there was definitely that. And then the next big goal is now we're starting to put together what has to happen to take all these people, all these companies that want to help out, start programs, scale programs that are existing, and go from there. So it was, I mean, like I said, we can do a whole episode if we really want to get on more details and stories and stuff, things, but
we should do
in
that.
a nutshell,
We'll catch up.
Yeah, in a nutshell, that's what it was. It was an awesome networking opportunity. Like you guys were telling Brittany, talk to people, meet people. I know Canada is a little hard to get out of the country. Next year it's in Vegas. If you can get out and get down there, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Like I hardly looked at anything in the booths. It was so crazy. Like I was so busy, but I got to connect with the people I really needed to. And I got some awesome phone calls and Zoom calls lined up here that started today. And it's going to go through next week for sure. And it's all has to do with education in the trades and getting people for Brittany so she doesn't have to keep doing their temp agency. Maybe she can have somebody run the temp agency for her.
That would be nice.
It's amazing because this is actually exactly what the Shop Class podcast was started for. Is that the idea?
And Nick,
the
QR codes in my presentation of everybody I talked about, I put a QR code on the screen. So all the teachers and stuff, every time we talked, everyone pulled their phones up, took that. At Sashco, people were like, "Oh my God, Matt, that was great." I said, "Yeah, that's a shop teacher thing."
Nice.
I was thinking the same thing, Nick, but it doesn't show up on the darn green screen.
Nice.
So yeah, it was awesome. Like these guys are introducing me to vice presidents and directors of purchasing and marketing, and I was talking to way bigger people than I expected to talk to.
It's awesome, man. And I'm so glad
I don't
you
want
wore
to
the
take more time
shirt.
from Brittany though, because she's already getting tired. So
It's just been a long day. I'm sorry.
no, exactly.
No,
I
don't
totally
worry.
understand. I totally understand. But yeah, there's the quick little update, and we can dive into that deeper.
It sounds awesome though. I want to go.
The main thing is that the shop teachers are not there. They operate in a bubble, and luckily Instagram and now TikTok and also these podcasts, they're breaking that bubble. And now we're able to highlight programs and inspire teachers. And then here, like, of course you always hear, "Oh, we need people in the trade." And now Brittany, you're like, "Yeah, seriously, like I'm teaching them how to use the ruler." And I'm like, "Oh my God, okay, I can handle the ruler part. You handle hire them, okay?" So we got a working partnership here, okay?
Yes, we definitely do.
Yeah, it's funny. I teach the ruler. I teach it like a pizza pie. You basically divide up the pizza pie, and then because the kid has no idea what you're talking about, they're like, "What is that? 2/5?" Like, what? No. It breaks like a pie. Come on. So anyway, but this is great. Like that's the whole point of the Shop Class podcast is to connect all the dots. And Matt, I got to thank you so much for wearing that shirt and going down there. And I'm so glad this is happening. I feel like we're finally all getting together here and getting on the same page, but now there's work to do.
Yeah, and Ron, that's exactly, you just described it. If going down there, it felt like, and just having this conversation with Breck from Hammer app today, you could feel the energy around this and what's going on. I mean, it was like, I mean, I feel like it was buzzing like that, and maybe that's just because obviously I'm part of that and in that scene. But anytime I told somebody that this is what we did, heck, I went and talked to one company that I walked by right the last day because I was like, oh my gosh, they do some air sealing flashing products, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I found you or ran into you guys. I love your product. I've seen it. I'd love to use it. I told them exactly as soon as I said what I do, they're like, oh, you just said tell us how many penetrations you need, how many boots or flashing pieces, we'll send it to you. And then they're like, can we just come and do a demonstration with the kids? I'm like, sure. We're in Illinois. Do you have someone local? No, I'm in Vegas. I'll just fly out. And that's all it takes. Like, it's all. And the thing is, every single person, like, because I'd walk by and people, there are salespeople would be like, oh, you a builder? I'm like, kind of. Not like what you guys are looking for. I teach, building trades with the students. We build a house, and they're like, oh, I mean, everyone is like, they want to hug you, and like I said, I wore the Shop Class Podcast shirt 2 days in a row. We made 2 shirts, which I don't care. I would have worn the same shirt anyway.
That's okay. We're not going to tell on you.
We're in construction. We don't care. And then the day one, the shirt I wore, I had Carmen make, and Mark uses this podcast or this hashtag a lot anytime reposting our stuff. Student built, and that's what I wore with the presentation at Sashco with Matt Reisinger and the Build Show and those guys. And they, it got a lot of attention, but yeah, a lot of people asked, and I got some. I'll get you the names and stuff. We'll get them on the schedule, Ron, because they're like, do you mind if I come on your show? I'm like, yeah, no, we want you. Like, you're the people that right. No, it's awesome, Brittany. I highly, if you're able to get to Vegas, definitely, I highly recommend it. And it's so much about the people and networking. Yeah, you get to go see all the cool products and stuff. But that was, I literally went only to a few extra.
Oh, look.
Yep, there it is.
There's you.
So who I'm talking to right there, Clay, the guy in the ponytail, that's the head editor for JLC magazine, Journal Light Construction. And then the older guy back there talking to Matt Reisinger right behind here, that's Les. He's the owner of Sashco. Yeah, it was awesome. But everybody is. Oh, and do you follow Drywall Shorty, Brittany? Lydia Crowder?
I don't think so, but I honestly can't even keep track of who I follow.
Sure. Well,
that's an honest answer.
She's a Build Show Network contributor, Lydia. She's awesome. She's amazing. You were telling the story about the guys, everybody walking past you looking for the boss. And her and her husband have the company. They always go to her husband and, oh, you brought help today. And he's like, no, she's in charge. So she's amazing.
I think I have seen her.
She's amazing.
She's
amazing.
Really good.
Like, in fact, her and I we're gonna chat more as far as getting more girls into the classroom or into the trades programs and stuff. And she's a fun one to watch too. She's so, I know, you're in the framing world, she's in the drywall finishing world, but just
wow.
I don't think it's technically all separated though, because a lot of us run in like the same circle and we all try to like support each other. Like, I have a lot of friends that I made from social media, and it's literally just a bunch of girls trying to make it in the industry, and we all just kind of like make sure that we're all doing okay, message each other, and like, because there is a lot of stuff that like some of the stuff that gets said online, because even like if you go through my TikTok comments, a lot of them are just ripping me apart.
Really?
So it does get to you after a little bit. Yeah, a lot of people tell me to go make them a sandwich, and I'm like, get a new joke.
Oh,
you know what?
God.
And what's funny, and me and Mark were just talking about, I told Mark, I said, you know what? I found you guys finally may be big enough, because we've been boosting some reels and stuff that's gotten, where the views are getting up there, and now the comments are coming, and it's like, so you finally get your first haters, and you're just like, you guys have totally missed this whole point of this entire video. Like, it's like, it's like the kid in class when you give the assignment and everything, and he comes and says, the most off the wall thing, and you're like, that is not what I just explained to you for the last 5 minutes. Like, and so, and I've heard other girls talk about this. April Wilker, is it Wilker? She's talked about
Wilkerson.
that. Wilkerson, yeah, April Wilkerson, and then they've all made those same comment. I've heard them talk about that on other stuff, and I'm good at just ignoring those people. So I just kind of laugh, and me and Mark get a good little chuckle on it. And sometimes if it's a comment that's maybe seems innocent, just uninformed, I'll try to respond back to it. But if it's just someone being a jackass, I'm just like, dude, you're talking shit on a project that high school kids are building. I was like,
wow, you're getting hate on there? That's crazy.
Yeah. And the thing is, if the kids ended up seeing that, well, they don't have filters, so they'll just start going off.
Yeah, there's a lot of trolls on the internet, and you kind of have to like let it go past. But a lot of the time, it does kind of kick you, like, oh my god, am I good? Am I making it? But
dude, ignore them. In fact, the way I look at it, okay, so my thing when high school was sports, and they got on a post something about booing and cheering and stuff. To me, you're always cheering for me. Like, and it sounds kind of arrogant, but when I was so football was my thing. When I was on the football field, if you're yelling, whatever you're yelling at to me, all I know is it's noise to me. You're cheering. I've got your attention because I did something. So either you love me because I'm good or you hate me because I'm good. And there you go. Look at it that way and run with it.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting their attention, you did something. Otherwise, the bet, you either want to be loved or hated. You never want to be not cared about. So
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Hey, Brittany, when you get the haters, just turn around and say, hey, Shop Class Podcast, you got my back? And then we'll just pour it on. And, you know,
I got you.
Peter's got a shovel and some concrete. He's not far from you. He can make a nice pair of cement shoes.
That's funny. This is awesome. I'm so glad. I'm like, I love this community connection and whatnot. So we didn't even show Brittany's TikTok yet. This is like her huge thing. I lost my voice. But okay, Matt, I don't know if we got somebody for next week. I think maybe next week you should take kind of the center and give us like a full-on update, you know?
Yeah, we could do it if there's nobody lined up. I got that plumbing class I'm teaching, so I get a little bit later, so you guys may have to filler bus for a short bit, but
yeah. Okay, now let's swing it back over to Brittany for a sec, and just to show what's going on with this. Basically, the cool thing is that it's like informative. Like you get to watch someone kind of, you know, go through it. So like all the stuff that you've been learning and doing, and like how to do it. So like you get to see it in fast motion, but you also, there was some informative stuff like, all right, this is the first part, the second part. I don't know how to filter it for okay, like stuff like this. Like, how do you lift this thing? Like, oh my God. It's crazy.
That's what a lot of people like don't love, is that because there's 5 of us, but that's a 9-foot wall and there's like headers in it. It's sheeted. It's actually really heavy, but they're like, I could do that. Just get a Mexican dude. He can do it by himself. And I'm like, okay, but like, that's not who we have. Thanks though.
Yeah. So, I don't know which one to highlight, but I just want to say that I think it's good that you're doing this because you're leading and you're showing all these people and possibly, you know, showing all these girls possibly that they can do this, you know, and you're doing it. And you've been doing it for 3 years on your own, and you're building your crew, which is like awesome.
Brittany, how exact do you have to be measuring in construction? Like, what are you measuring to the nearest?
We usually do to the 16th, but honestly, framers can be out like a little bit. I try not to be, but like, obviously there's certain things that like it's out an eighth and you're kind of just like, I can't move it anymore. I'll cheat something else to make it like actually level. But with panels, you have to be like to the 16th, because if they're out, then and you're out, it's a disaster. Because we found that out today because one of my plates was off and it didn't go well.
Yeah, I just want you to know I teach measuring too, to middle school. So I try starting them out. But we found out if they don't practice it like all the time, then if they just don't use it, they're going to forget it.
Yeah, and like the more and more you use it, the faster you can at reading the tape. But a lot of my people, like, they sit there and they stare at it and they have to like count all the things, and you're just like, I'll wait because you're still learning. But it's also nice when you're just like, yeah, what is it? And they're like, it's this. And I'm like, awesome. That's great. I taught you well.
You got to teach them in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. 8th grade, they're pretty good, but then they go to the high school and it's like they get wiped out. There's like a force field, just forgets their memory. So our high school teacher, they say they make tape measures with the measurements already on them, so you can look at them.
Yep.
And
This is what I do.
New one coming out that you put it on, it's got the green laser and it has the digital readout right on it, and it's amazing. Pretty soon it's going to start saying, 45 and 3/8, right? 16 and 15/16. It's
it'll just talk to you.
Yeah.
This is the
fractions of pizza with Mr. G. Oh, I got it. Yeah, Mr. G.
This is how I handle it with, because they're all hungry all the time. So, and you got to make sure you draw the cutter, the actual circle knife thing. And then you just break it up.
Hey, Ron, speaking of hunger, is there something you could show of a guy walking into a deli like Kramer? Because that was hilarious.
Oh, nah, that's some silly stuff. I'm trying to do my TikTok stuff too. No, it's something new. There's like a restaurant by me, and I kind of did like a day in the life. It was funny. But anyway, but so this basically, in wrapping it up, basically, you're looking for more shop teachers. We're looking to connect with tradespeople. They're looking to duplicate Matt's program. Can you imagine if the local high school by you had Matt's program where they built a house? You would recruit right out of there. So
that would be awesome, because then they already have a little bit of experience, and then you can be like, okay, I just need to teach you a little bit more, train you a little bit more, but you've already done it. So you have some knowledge instead of taking it out of the get-go, because it's so hard.
And I'll only send you my top 3. So I'll
I prefer that too.
Hey, Brittany, get a name of like 10 or 12 high schools in the areas you work and send it over. And maybe these guys can hit up those shop class things. And then, it never hurts to call the schools. And whatever you have to say, sometimes lying is an interesting way to get into a door. And you could say, hey, look, I'll come to your high school. I'm going to bring my mascot. You show up and it's you. And you're like, yeah, I'm my mascot. Right. And, to get their attention, because the schools do want the voice of people in the areas that have created an opportunity for yourself, and that allows other people to either duplicate or join you. So massive respect.
Also, Brittany, you should know that let me break down the facade a little bit. The schools, they're trying, but they don't know what they're doing. See? And so, like, literally, if you went in and you shook hands with the guidance counselor, that would go like miles. However, they still don't know how to do anything. So they might hire a teacher that teacher might know something, but it might be something about metal. So they don't know anything about framing. So you could encourage them. It's not going to solve it, but you'd be surprised. They don't get to talk to people like you. Nobody's coming in. We don't have there's no framers coming in my school saying, hey, listen, I need like 20 people. What are you guys doing about that? And they'll go, we didn't know that. The state is telling us we need to up our SAT scores. The state's telling us this. The state's saying that. Framers aren't coming in the door. So I'm not saying you need one more job. But if you could talk to your local high school or whatever and say, hey, we need more of this, and you actually show them what's going on, it would be, but aren't you doing some of that? I forgot. You're doing.
Yeah, you can do it and like maybe even do like a day of it and like teach like basic framing and like go through it and see like, because a lot of people don't know all the trades that are out there. Like apparently there's like 160 trades and I didn't even know that, and I'm in the trades. But they also count like hairstyling and like pastry chef as a trade. So, I mean, there's like, it's okay. But that's actually like a great idea because I have contacts with a lot of teachers that if I can call them and be like, can I come just teach your class for a day? Like, I know it's like a lot more on me and like a lot more stuff I got to do, but I'd rather do that and like train the new people and like show the next generation what there is and what the possibilities are, so that it's not like how I was, that I was discouraged from the trades. I was kind of tried, like the guidance counselors, the teachers tried to push me away from it. And I was like, no, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want. But they need someone to show you. That's like, you got to have someone to be like, this is an actual career path. Do you want to be in debt and not have a job after going to school? Or do you want to maybe not go to school and just have a career?
Okay.
But
So
the best schooling is by doing.
Exactly.
Peter, we can hear you.
Thank you. I fixed the settings. That's all it was. First time on this media, but so the settings weren't up. You're doing great. If you show up at school because academics run the education departments, they aren't builders, they aren't trades, they don't know about anything but office work. And they don't recommend it because they don't know about it. They need to be out and taught and do and bring the guidance counselor out to your site and have them throw a hammer and an apron on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or bring the hammer and apron to the schools. Let the kids use them, because I have them in middle school, and a lot of them haven't touched a tool, and they're nervous. But once they do it, they have that sense of relief, and they're like, "Wow, that wasn't bad. I want to do it again."
Yeah, and I was taught, even if you don't go into the trades, you can learn stuff to work on your own house, so then you don't have to pay someone to do it. So you can at least learn something to help you, even if you don't want the industry.
Yeah.
Like I remember. Yeah, like you guys were talking about the kids not wanting to get their heads dirty. Now I have the things have changed because of COVID and because of the millennials, and so the kids come in and they get a little bit of oil on their hand and they use the hand sanitizer to get the oil and grease off. And I'm like, no. I was like, we have Gojo. We have like this orange sandy stuff. Like, come on. So it's just ridiculous. But they don't know. They don't know any better. And so they get excited when there's guests. You could even be a virtual guest. But you'd be surprised how far that will go. Don't be wrong, though. You can't spend all your time doing this because you got stuff to do. But this is helpful.
Yeah, and once in a while, like, you can make the time. Like, even look, like tomorrow I have a rain day. I'm literally just going to look at a car and then I'll be sleeping all day. But you get that once in a while. So even if I do it that it's like a nice day too, one day every month or so is not that much to take off to teach the next generation.
Yeah. And fun competitive stuff like Matt was doing, where they're trying to hammer a nail into the piece of wood or whatever. And kids are just trying to have fun. They don't know, so that's cool. Good. So this is good. This is great connections right here. I'm losing my voice, but I've been losing my voice all week. But I think we'll probably end the recording there. This is pretty good. And then we can hang out for a bit. You guys got any other questions or topics?
Hey, Ron, what if we close out with just some final comments of something something awesome from you, Brittany, right? So we get that good soundbite, like that travels beyond space and time.
Well, so I had a friend. Actually, I was talking to a vice principal today, and he came up with a question. He said, "Hey, what would you tell?" Well, two questions actually. What would you tell your former self from, let's say, 10 years ago or whatever? Advice on career. And then the other one was, what would you advise the high school teachers? How would you ask that? Like, how should they talk to their students about this? So, for instance, like I do have students that I say, "Hey, you should do engineering," and they say, "Nah, and they don't know. Or they say, "Hey, you should try a trade," and they just don't know. They're like, "Oh no, I have to study for the SATs." Okay, well, but there's other options. So, what would you tell your former self? And what do you want to tell the shop teachers of the world?
Okay, we'll start with the shop teachers because I don't know about former self yet. I got to think about that.
All right.
But honestly, I'd tell the shop teachers, like, a lot of students don't realize that you can make good money in the trades and you don't go into debt like you would if you're going to be a doctor or anything. Like, people think you're going to make a lot of money doing that, but look at how much debt that you're going to have to pay off once you start into the field. But into the construction industry, I'm 23, already have my own company. I'm hoping to be a contractor in a few years, so that's going to make me even more money, and I could potentially retire when I'm 50. Even then, I could retire earlier if I really wanted to, but there's so much opportunities in the trades that you can make good money. You could do it while you're young so that you can have a life when you're older, enjoy your family, travel, whatever. But it's not publicized enough, the opportunities that there are, because people think that you got to go to college and go to university to get a really good paying job. But I went to college. I did my first 2 levels of apprenticeship, dropped out during my 3rd. I didn't even finish. I was like, you know what? I don't even need it. I'm just going to go start my own company now.
Wow. That's good stuff.
Brittany, once you learn it, do you know about the Red Seal level exams?
Yeah, but I would have to do my 3rd level to do my Red Seal.
Yeah.
And you have to get signed as an apprentice, but nobody can sign you anymore. They changed the requirements, and there's like barely anyone that you can find that'll sign an apprentice now because they can't. Like, I'm not eligible to sign someone. I don't really know many people that are.
We had that discussion, Brittany, a couple of weeks ago. Matt was there. Do you know Ontario Framing?
I think so, yeah.
He's a little bit of a handful. He's got a trucker's mouth. But if you get in, we'll have the conversation offline. Aaron Big Dog. Yeah, a lot of people know him and his wife.
Oh
yeah. We'll create that introduction because there's a few people still grandfathered in to be able to do that. And when there's good people out there, the right people do it. It's not anything that they can put on social media. And I probably should have said this when we weren't recording.
No problem. That's cool. And yeah, we had Aaron on here. That was cool. Got to know him a little. I like just getting to know people a little. It's interesting, to hear all your stories and whatnot. It's awesome.
Yeah, and like you can tell more like just talking to someone than you can see on their social media.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the socials just kind of like advertising, and then you actually get to know the person. It's like it's like, oh, you're a real person. Oh, okay. That's awesome. Well, cool. So that was pretty good. And then you wanted to think about your former self, give advice, but whatever. It's just a question.
Well, I'll do like a little bit of it, but basically I almost actually quit construction. Probably 3 years ago, I straight up almost walked away because I was going through a lot of discrimination. But if I ever knew someone, or like being in that position, everyone was telling me like, you just got to find a new place. Like, you're going to be okay. Push through it. Go somewhere else. You'll find it. But a lot of people don't have that person saying that. So I've had a lot of friends that actually end up leaving the trades because they're harassed or anything. And because I was going through it, I almost left it. And I had to like my one teacher talked me and like called me and was like, here, I will find you a different placement. You are meant for the trades. Do not leave it. I swear it'll get better. And like knowing where I am now, I hope that everyone can have that person being like, don't leave the trades just because of one person. It's not worth it. You can do so much more. You can expand and you can actually have a good life. Like where I am now compared to where I was, it's a lot different.
Oh, wow. That's great advice. Oh my God. Wow. You know, what's funny when, there's going to be like, they always say, oh, don't listen to the doubters, but that's easier said than done. Of course, if someone's just randomly saying something, like who cares? But if someone who you care about or someone you're working with or someone you looked up to says something or does something that like puts a block in the way, makes it really difficult. But what I say to that is you never want the audience of one. In other words, like you can't have, like I had some college professors that told me to quit, never work in design. I didn't know where he was going with it. Like this guy started out telling me like, oh, you should just like look for something else. You're never going to do anything. And I was like, wait, what? What are you saying? Like I couldn't believe it. I'm paying this guy and he's telling me, and it's like, wow, what am I paying this guy for? So then I just knew it doesn't matter if I'm teaching or if I'm working for a company or building my own company, as long as I'm like being creative every day and making something and working with people and having fun, that's all I want to do. So I don't know what this guy was getting on about. It seemed personal. It was weird. But yeah, like if you listen to one person, oh my God, you gotta take the audience and make it bigger, and you could always get the different job or, or you could fire a client if it's not working, So cool.
And Brittany, yesterday I had a student tell me he doesn't like that I push him to do things, right? It's one of those students, not that he's super lazy, but I don't know. I'm not sure what he expected out of the class, but I asked him, every time it's time to do something, he hides out. And I'm like, well, why did you even sign up for the class? He's like, I expected it to be different. I'm like, we built a house. What more different did you expect? Well, I thought I'd learn more. I'm like, well, what more do you want to learn? I go, so you're not learning anything? He's like, no. I go, so he goes, you're a bad teacher. I was like, all right, I can handle that. The rest of the kids started laughing, of course. But you know what? You ain't gonna get them all. And it's, maybe down the road he'll change his tune about it. Maybe he won't. But it's all right, man. It's Don't worry about the one person, because call us. We'll find you 10 that are gonna pat you on the back.
You gotta find. Yeah, 100%. Like I've been so lucky that like, of course everybody has haters, but I once you get on a vibe, my whole goal now is just to like stay with the good people. Like look how this grew. Like, oh my God, look how many people are on this podcast. Like, are you kidding me? This is just a vibe of help. Like, I just want to help people, and everybody here wants to help each other. And I'm like, great. It's like amazing. And I have a deflection for Matt, for the kid who says, I had this kid one time say to me, why don't you teach like that? He's like, why don't you just teach? And I was like, dude, I'm just a guy that works here, man. I'm not really like a teacher. You know what I mean? Like they hired me. That's your problem, dude. And he was like, he didn't know what to say. He was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess. And I mean, that's truly all it is. Am I really a teacher? One of the reasons I got into teaching, because my friend said to me, he's like, you should be a teacher. You could like work with the kids and like build cars and stuff. And I was like, I hate teachers. I really did. Growing up, I hated teachers. And then he's like, no. You don't got to be a teacher. You could be you, but you're teaching. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, oh, that's something different, So, the same thing, like someone says, oh, you can't frame. You can't do this. All right, fine. I'm not framing. We're just going to build some houses. Anyway, let me get busy, like just, You know,
I should use that.
yeah, like, all right, you got me. I'm not a framer, but I build houses, so whatever. You know. Anyway, cool. Well, this is really good. Thanks for everybody joining. There's so many people on here. Peter, you're new. You're not probably not new in real life, but new to me. Cool.
Now I'm
Thanks for
connected to
joining.
Mark.
Oh, of course. This is like amazing.
And Shawn.
And I'm so excited to hear like the full, you know, everything about down at International Build Show. And I think if we could duplicate Matt's program to a lot more high schools right now, I mean, how many other schools are doing that? We got the one in Jersey doing a modular, Frank. I mean, basically, Brittany, basically it's framing. You gotta teach the kids framing. I'm sorry, can we just steal you away? Listen, that's nice and all. You got this framing company. All right, great. All right, come be a shop teacher. No, but you can totally advise. Maybe you could be like an advisor, you know?
She wanted to retire by the time she was 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well then, yeah, teaching.
So I'll just like teach on the side. It'll be like a
Yeah.
course once in a while.
That's how you get your staff, right? You teach from 8 to 3, and then you work from 3 to 6, and you already have help on the weekends, so double dip.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I'll tell you what, it's been a luxury because I've been building this side school thing. And when I do the welding classes, I just hire my former students. And I'm like, it makes it so easy. Oh my God. Because they already know me. So they know I'm like ridiculous. I'm just me. So they're like, you know, we just grow together, you know? But you know, that's difficult. If you're already out there, geez, I don't know. Brittany, you don't have it easy. And I commend you for how much effort you put in. You're growing. It's great.
Thank you. Hopefully it'll become easier soon.
Yeah, but no, it won't be, because once you get there, then you'll build something bigger, you know? So growing pains. Oh, you know, I had all these business questions I want to ask you, but it's kind of late already. But as far as like bookkeeping and stuff like that, I heard you were talking to Mike Kanoki about it, that you have someone handle some of the books so you can focus on the framing. Is that right?
Yeah, so my dad's part of the partnership. So he was on site with me for a bit, but he actually came and like has a hip problem, so he can't be on site anymore. But he does all my payroll, my paperwork, so that I work. Well, I wouldn't even have time to do it with the hours that I work, but he does it so I can just focus on like on-site stuff because it's way easier. And schools don't teach you how to do that stuff, so I don't know how to do it.
No, I was just talking. I just found out I got to give a 1099 to some people that like did some classes with me. And I was just like, what? And I passed the deadline already. I didn't even know. So, you know, I was talking to my friend. He's like, dude, they just don't teach this. Like, you just have to find out no matter what. Like, there's no, it's like, oh my God. So I didn't know all that. So I thought I had time, and I didn't. I guess I'm going to pay a penalty or something. I don't know. We'll find out. So whatever. Okay, cool. So we'll end the recording here. This was great. Brittany, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll get an update in a year. Find out like how's it going. What's some big projects coming up?
I have a 7 block of towns that I'm working on. I just finished a house in Paris, and I have 3 units of towns in Hamilton that I'm waiting on trusses for. Yeah.
Nice. Wow. And a truss is like a pre-built thing that comes in?
Yeah, it's the roof that's literally looks like a triangle, and then you just put it all on and then frame it in and sheet it.
What was the first thing you said? 7 something?
7 units of townhouses.
Oh,
so
that's
it's like
a lot.
Block of towns, and it's just like 7 just all together, and that's what I'm working on now.
No kidding.
That'll be the video that is posted later.
All right, cool. Nice.
Are you responsible for the fire block drywall between the party walls?
Yeah.
Okay. That's an added responsibility.
Yeah, this one we're doing the rock stall insulation for the fire stop, but some only do like the drywall in between the floors, some sheet the full wall. It's literally based on different builders. you literally have to change how you frame if you change builders. It's great.
I would say, you already do great coverage of what you do, but when you get the party walls recorded, it'd be great to come back on. I think Ron and everyone would like hearing about party walls. It's an integral part that, honestly, the entire industry is horrible at it. It's like we sell cars and no one realizes that they need gas, batteries, and to change a tire. We make townhomes. We don't realize that the party walls are important.
Yeah, they're super important, and everyone does it like a different way too. So we can go over all the different ways. We can go over what's needed. Yeah, I like it.
This is so awesome. You gotta understand. Like I knew nothing about houses, and I've been learning so much. It's great. I watched Matt build the house, and we learned about thermal breaks and whatnot. And Mark's always jumping on and giving us something. Now you guys are talking about party walls. I'm like, wow, this is great. It's like bonkers to me. It's like a whole other world. So party walls with Brittany. So I 100% encourage you to do your videos because you're really educating, like entertainment wise. You're like helping us. Like look at these videos. I wouldn't have known about party walls if that didn't come up now. That was great. And what is that? Just like, is it not just a thermal break, but is it also a fire resistant thing?
Yeah. So it's basically like between the units, you have two walls, and it's called the party wall because it's the adjoining units that kind of like they meet in the middle, so they're having a little party. But you put stuff in between for fire code. So based on the different cities, you have to follow what you have to do. So it's usually 2 layers of fire-resistant drywall so that it slows down the fire. And then they also have a concrete block so that it kind of like stops the fire. But some townhouse units are actually made to collapse in case of a fire. So it'll like burn through some of the wood and then it'll fall and then the block will fall onto it. But that's like when the fire gets really bad, so that it doesn't spread through the rest of the units.
We had where I live is like explosive amount of building going on in the last 20 years, just enormous. Old factories that kind of sank into the Hudson River. They redo the dock and they put townhouses, clubs, like spas, endless building. Starbucks, Walgreens, it's endless, right? But one of the units caught fire and it ripped apart the entire block. What went wrong there? Is there no division there or something? Like what happened?
It probably didn't have like the concrete block part stopping it, and it just had the stuff slowing it down because it still like goes through all the units if you just have the stuff slowing it down. The other thing is some cities don't have the fire codes, that they don't do a lot between the units, which is really a mistake because if you have a block and like you have 5 places connected to each other, if the firefighters can't get a control of the fire, you're basically screwed. Like the whole block's going to burn.
Yeah, no one got hurt, but like literally the entire unit, like not unit, but what do you call a string, I guess?
We call it a block, but like I think,
Block.
I don't know what else it's called.
Yeah, the whole block went. It was crazy.
A lot of times the wall is done fine, but when you get to, let's say, the rafter area on top,
It's all open.
that division, so you're creating first the vertical division and the horizontal division. It's hard to inspect. It's hard to do the work if not done in proper order. It's not done by design. It's done by error. And so that becomes a raceway because what does fire want? It wants oxygen, and it always takes the easy path. So if there's not a resistance, which is gypsum or block, it's wildfire. Right? It's what the word sounds like, and it's just going to race through there and gobble it up faster than you can ever imagine.
Yeah, and sometimes they put like porches connecting over top of that block wall. So then you're like, well, what's the point of having the block wall? Now you're connected.
Interesting. By the way, I didn't realize, I forgot. Nick is not just a shop teacher; he's a fireman.
That's so cool.
Yeah, Nick, what do you advise, man, to the framers? What should they be doing?
Well, like Mark just said, the shared wall ended at the ceiling of the top floor, and typically it's the roof or the attic area that is the common across all of them. Because we had one across the river over near Poughkeepsie that happened. Australian townhouses, like the whole U shape went up because of the shared attic.
Wow. So how do you block off the attic? You got to put something in between, just like.
I mean, I've seen as simple as two sheets of 3/4 plywood. But
That stops the air transfer.
Yeah, and it slows it down. So.
Probably
But it's
helps.
often a good idea to raise a solid, like a block wall right through the roof surface and create a parapet wall between units so that the brick goes up through the roofing, and the roofing is on either side of that brick wall, and it closes off the interior of the attic space so that there's no burn between, because it's cinder product. And so I put my counter flashing on top of the parapet wall outside, and then it's a fire stop in between, continuing up from the party wall.
Wow. And what's a?
So that
You gotta forgive me. What's a parapet? I don't know.
parapet
That's what
wall.
Bob showed when Bob was on. as far as
Bob,
when he was-
Bob Kelly talked to you about that, Ron.
Oh,
Those-
The wall up on top above
like
the
this.
roof.
It's
Stuff
the
all
bench
above.
you sit on top of to have lunch.
That's the one. Yeah, I've done that. Why bother going to the ground? Just have lunch up top.
It's the only dry spot on the roof. So you
Yep.
sit there, your legs get a rest.
Like this.
Yeah, besides carpentry and building science, I've been with Peter every Tuesday and Wednesday for almost 2 years now. And when it comes to roofing and flashing, he'll take you to task.
Nice.
Well, Matt knows Bob Kelly, and I like what Bob does.
Yeah.
So
He's great.
he and I talk shop.
Awesome. Yeah, we did a good interview with him for sure. Yeah, Peter, if you ever want to come on and give us the full amount, yeah, we'd love that. It'd be great.
Dude.
All right, cool. So we'll leave it there. I'm gonna hit stop. Brittany, thank you so much. And
Thank you.
keep on rocking. And I'll hit stop. We usually just kind of hang for a minute. And but you, Brittany, I know you're tired, so if you got to get up 5 a.m. or something, no problem.
I have tomorrow off. It's okay.
Oh, beautiful. All right, Shop Class Podcast. See you guys again.